Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. To all the
hanya fotokopi kertas gitu, piro sampai nanti.
Sorry for the error. First of all, I would like to greet the Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan, Bapak Dr. Andes Haji Budi Utomo MKes, the Dean Faculty of Economic and Business, Bapak Hendrik Irawan SAMM, our faculty members, and all the committee. Our honorable speakers, Ibu Associate Professor Asmahani Aswadalai from Management and Science University, Malaysia, Ibu Elvina Asadam SAMM, Ibu Faroha Muzayyinatun Niswah SAI MSI, and Ibu Devi Febrianti SAMSA from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan. Also to our beloved participants around the world. Let's thank to the Almighty who has given us chance to meet in this occasion through this international webinar. Then salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma shalli wa sallim. Go on to the next agenda. It is reciting Holy Quran that will be delivered by Alfain Jalaluddin. To Alfain Jalaluddin, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Innal ladzina amanu wa 'amilus solihati wa aqamus sholata wa atawuz zakata lahum ajruhum 'inda rabbihim wala khaufun 'alaihim wala hum yahzanun. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا كنتم مؤمنين فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله وإن تبتم فلكم رؤوس أموالكم لا تظلمون ولا تظلمون. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shadaqallahul Azim. Thank you, Alfain Jalaluddin. Before going to the main agenda, let's hear a welcoming speech from the Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan to Bapak Dr. Andes Haji Budi Utomo MKes. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, liyudhhira ala dini kullihi, asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, amma ba'du.
Everyone, accelerating economic development after COVID-19. First of all, I would thank our speakers and moderators who have kindly provided their time for this webinar. Our sincerely welcome to Maju, Malaysia, and our international speaker and moderators. Praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who bestows to an economic seminar with the theme of economic recovery after
COVID-19. Even though the rain has not ended yet in almost all of the goods, used to the new normal lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, we are welcome everyone to the Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan, Indonesia, even though it is virtual. If there is Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, please come and visit our campus. It is about
Sorry, we got some trouble.
okay.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are welcome everyone to Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan, Indonesia, even though it is virtual. If there is time and given long life by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, please come and visit our campus. It is about one whole half of Surabaya, capital city of East Java. We directly chose the title Accelerated Economic Recovery after Pandemic COVID-19. We consider this topic important because we realize this that COVID-19 has multidimensional impact, such as in the fields of health, social, cultural, domestic, education, and especially economic dimension that is felt by all people who are not well of to those who are well out. Therefore, throughout this seminar, we hope that all participants learning about economic recovery strategies from this current pandemic COVID-19. I hope that the seminar we are holding today inspires ideas and discussion around the way that we can make benefit to the development of science since we are in the educational environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is announced as the person who responsible for this seminar. Sincerely, thank you very much to the whole committee, contributor, and participant for your attention and contribution to holding this seminar. Lastly, I apologize if there is anything unpleasant during today's seminar. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Bapak Dr. Andes Haji Budi Utomo, MKes. Next is opening speech from the Dean Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan. To Bapak Hendrik Irawan, SAMM, time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Fatin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Asbahna ala fitratil Islam wa ala kalimatil ikhlas wa ala dini nabiyina Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ala millati abina Ibrahim hanifan musliman wa kana minal musyrikin. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Amma ba'du. The Honorable Mr. Haji Budi Utomo, Master of Health, Rector Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan, The Excellency Esok Professor Asmahani Aswadalai as International Speaker from Management and Science University Malaysia. Good morning, all participants, international webinar. First of all, praise be to Allah, the Lord of the world. Blessing and salutation be upon the most honorable Muhammad and messenger, his family and his disciples, and those who follow them in goodness till the day of judgment. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to give short and simple speech in this occasion and a great event, international webinar, with the theme Accelerating Economic Recovery After COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been almost 1 year since Wuhan reported the world first cases of coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Then, we are following the National Education Department to close down school during the COVID-19 case. Mostly, school around us still closed now. There is no class face-to-face, studying by Zoom and other means of communication, like what we were doing today. Economic and Business Faculty, Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan, present international webinar that attending agreed 4 speakers to discuss accelerating economic recovery after COVID-19. The first speaker, there is Professor Asmadani Aswadalai from Management and Science University, Malaysia. She will give us fresh information of coronavirus disease growth and some solution how to recovery economic after pandemic COVID-19. Second speaker, there is Ms. Elvina As-Sadam, Magister of Management, will tell us about how to build creative and innovative business in pandemic era. Then there is a third speaker talk about the role of halal industry in economic recovery, will presented by Ms. Faroha Muzayyantun Niswah, Magister of Science. And then the last, there is Ms. Devi Febrianti, Magister of Science Accounting, will discuss about post-pandemic financing risk management strategy. I think all the topic above is interesting and suitable with our condition nowadays. Ladies and gentlemen, in this wonderful moment, I don't forget, I would like to remembering all of you. We can fight by this virus by keeping ourselves healthy and others safe. Hope this pandemic can end soon. While waiting, let's not do anything that can make it worse. That's all I want to say. Remember, everyone keeping your distance is more important than day. We don't want to virus keep spreading when we did not many things to keep the number down. Let's start from ourselves and do virus health awareness. Once again, thank you very much to Professor Asmahani Aswadalai from Malaysia, then that want to share her knowledge here. And also, I would like to thank to all participants that come from many countries. There is Indonesia, Malaysia, Tunisia, Mesir, Thailand, and Brunei Darussalam. That is on the list. Yeah. You all have been great listeners, I guess. Let's keep safe, never give up or lose hope during this difficult time. That's all my speech. Nasrun minallah wa fatkun qarib wa basyiril mu'minin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Hendrik, for the warm welcoming speech. And ladies and gentlemen, for your information, this international webinar is under collaboration of two universities, Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan with Management and Science University, Malaysia. Then I would like to say thank you to Ibu Associate Professor Asmahani Aswadalai for joining and willing to be the speaker of this webinar. Thank you so much, Ibu. And dear all participants, before going to another agenda, we have a photo session. So now please turn on your video to take the picture, all of you. Okay, that's enough. Thank you so much. And before I hand this webinar to the moderator, I would like to inform you that a certificate will be awarded to all of you who joined the webinar until the last session. If you got difficulties in accessing Zoom, you can officially watch this webinar through our YouTube channel of UM Lamongan. Ladies and gentlemen, here are our international webinar that will be led by Ibu Farihah Maf'ulah, SAE MIFP. Before that, let me introduce our moderator to you all. Ibu Farihah Maf'ulah, SAE MIFP, is a lecturer of Economic and Business Faculty, Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan. She graduated from Universitas Airlangga in 2015. Then she continued her study in International Center for Education and Islamic Finance 2016 up to 2018. So, dear participants, enjoy our international webinar till the end. And to Ibu Farihah Maf'ulah, SAE MIFP, time is yours.
Test. Hello. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bupatin, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to International Webinar Accelerating Economic after COVID-19. Message our grocery, it's generally almost every aspect of our life until it hit hard the global economy, like recession, like a huge thing in financial market, and many more. So today we will talk about it with our great speakers. So today's discussion will be divided into two sessions. The first session will be talk from the government side, and then okay, starting this. So for the first session, we will talk about government side. The first session will be Professor Asmahani will be talk about government side from Malaysian perspective. But before that, I will be briefly introduce her to you guys. Prof. Asmahani Adalai is currently Associate Professor in Management and Science University Malaysia. But before joining in the MSU on 2001, she was a lecturer in University Mara, Malaysia from 91 until 97. Besides becoming the lecturer, she was active involved in many types of projects. Currently, she is being a lead researcher in the topic of consumer behavior in Malaysia. So today, Prof. Asmani will talk about government. As we know that many countries, some of countries already show the declining trend on the positive case in COVID-19, but some are still struggling on it, like in Indonesia or maybe in Malaysia. So we will talk about it later. Please welcome Prof. Asmahani. The time is yours.
Thank you, Ibu. Can I share my presentation? But before that, I would like to thank the organizer for this webinar, which is very timely as everybody is talking about the topic in question, COVID-19, and much have been said, much research have been done, and to read about it on the internet alone, it takes you weeks and you cannot exhaust all that you can read about it on the internet. Yeah. So thank you very much once again for the organizer for organizing this international webinar on the topic of accelerating the what is it? Let me look for it again. And in any way, it's how governments of the countries in the world respond to the problem in question. Let me just, okay. Accelerating economic recovery after COVID-19. Even though we are not yet in the era of after COVID-19, we are still in the middle of this situation. But just to show some of the responses or measures that the government of Malaysia has taken so far since the onset of this problem of pandemic COVID-19. Let me share some of the slides that I have. Okay, so, okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Asmahani Aswadalai. I'm a lecturer, a senior lecturer of economics at Management and Science University at the Faculty of Business Management and Professional Studies. Okay, what am I going to talk about today? Actually, today I've been invited to talk about economic recovery after pandemic COVID-19, Malaysia's perspective. As I said earlier, we are not yet out of the wood, as what the Americans said. We are still in the situation, we are not yet after the pandemic COVID-19, we are still in the middle of the problem of the pandemic, especially in Malaysia. We are now in the third wave where the numbers seem to be increasing nowadays, and latest numbers was 1,000 plus in a day, new cases yesterday. Yeah? Just to share a bit of the history, which I think everybody knows about it. Okay, it started in a wet market in Wuhan, China in November 2019 and confirmed human-to-human transmission of the disease was on 12/12/2019. I think the 12/12 date is not just for a lot of sales online. Okay, it is also the anniversary of the first human-to-human transmission of the disease. And first case reported in Malaysia was on 25th January and brought by 3 Chinese nationals who traveled from Singapore to Johor Bahru, and they were sent to Sungai Buloh Hospital in KL to be treated. And then it was declared as a pandemic by WHO on 11th March, which many people also argued why WHO took so long to declare it as a pandemic, okay, but that's not the debate for today. And as the first response by the government of Malaysia was to declare a nationwide MCO, Movement Control Order, on 18th March 2020. Okay, a bit about the situation today, nowadays. As at 12 December, total confirmed cases of COVID-19 worldwide is almost 70 million. And then total number of deaths is about 1.5 million, which is about 2.3% of total cases. And total confirmed cases in Malaysia by 12 December was more than 82,000. And total death 411, so 0.5% as to the total confirmed cases. So our average is well below the average. Our percentage of death is well below the world percentage of death on this particular disease. Yeah. So Malaysia, we once managed to zero-rise the number of new cases in early July. Okay, we almost declared ourselves as a winner against this war against the disease. However, the numbers started to increase again after that, particularly after we had a Sabah state election in early September. So we are now set to be in the second wave of the COVID-19 cases in Malaysia. The second rise of these COVID-19 cases. It was very contained either in prisons or in the camp where the refugees are, or where the illegal immigrants are. But in the third wave, it has gone out to the public. So numbers has increased. Even one day it was more than 2,000. Yesterday it was 1,000 plus. It's very frightening. It's very staggering. And to tell you the truth, I haven't really left my home except to go to work for the past since March. I haven't been anywhere because I am in the risk group. I am over 50, and as people say, the age population and the small children are the most risky. Has the riskiest group of population that may get the disease and may not even recover if we get the disease. So that's why I'm very I take radical action of not leaving my home except for going to work. Even sometimes we are allowed to work from home. Even the government has declared that we can leave home, we can cross state, we can go for holiday. But I'm still not doing that personally. Okay, this is just the figure to show the number of case globally as well as number of deaths as at 12 December. And if you see the world, the Americas, the two continents of Americas, they're almost 30 million. Europe more than almost 22 million. Southeast Asia alone, our region, more than 11 million. Eastern Mediterranean, about 4.5 million. Africa is 1.6 million, and Western Pacific, 952,000, not even 1 million. So anyway, the number of countries affected by this pandemic now is more than 150, and latest I heard is 187 countries have been affected by this disease. It's a global pandemic. It's nobody is spared. Okay, this is the immediate response by the government of Malaysia, because our first concern is the public health. Okay, to safeguard the safety of the rakyat, as we call it, or the people of Malaysia. We declared the first MCO nationwide MCO on 18 March. It was supposed to be for only 2 weeks. But since the number of cases have not declined, in fact, it increased steadily. So it was extended until 3rd of May. And then on the 4th of May, it was changed to CMCO, conditional MCO, a conditional movement control order, until 9th of June. And then from 9th of June, we declared we are in the recovery period already, because we have managed to zero rise in number of new cases. Yeah, so we have the recovery. Our MCO is Recovery Movement Control Order. It was originally announced until 31st August, but later extended to 31st December because, as you see now, as the number kept increasing. In between, we have what we call EMCO. EMCO is what is EMCO? It's that means the area is closely guarded by the Majlis Keselamatan Negara, or the people who are responsible in containing the situation. Yeah, where the people who are declared in the area of EMCO are not allowed even to leave the area, and government provides supplies, daily supplies for them in order to survive. Okay, so that's concerning the public health, because once and for the most important is the public health, the safety of the people. Okay, because of that radical, I would say radical move, to not allow people to leave their home except for emergency reason, between the 18 March until 3rd of May, we had, of course, there would be economic impact. Firstly, in the first quarter of 2020, economic growth has dropped to 0.7%. And then in the second quarter, dropped even further to negative. The economy actually contracted by 17.1%. Okay. However, due to some measures taken by the government, as early as actually the first measure taken by the government was in February. During this, we do not only have crisis of public health during this COVID-19 pandemic era, we also have political problem, as if you all follow. Okay, we have change of government. We had no prime minister for quite a few days, and then we had interim prime minister, and the interim prime minister actually announced a package before even March, in February. The first package was announced in February, because the government saw the potential impact of the situation, because the world, it's actually, because this crisis is not just, it's a very unique, because it has never been, the world has never seen this kind of crisis before, where number one, it's not just demand side, it's not just supply side, it's both demand and supply shocks. Okay, the crisis in the 1980s was supply shock. Okay, when the crisis, the economic crisis in the 1980s that Malaysia felt was because in the sharp fall in the price of commodities, especially our main export, which is rubber, oil palm, and tin. Okay, so that was the reason for that. And then the crisis in the 1990s was because of the financial crisis started in Thailand and later spread, crisis of confidence, they call it. And then crisis in the 2008 is originated from the US. It's because of the real estate market, the economic bubble, as they call it, which when it bursts, it's contagious to all of the countries in the world. And crisis that we had in 2015, again, when the value of ringgit fell very sharply against US dollar, up to 4.4, if I'm not mistaken, the worst of it was again different. Okay, so that's why the measures taken by the government on this to handle this issue is also different. Okay, we will look at that later. Let's just talk about this first, yeah. And then after the government put some short-term measures, we call it short-term measures, to help the situation, because the closure of the business because of the MCO, not closure of business, closure of the operation of business due to the first MCO for the first 3 months has caused a few businesses to be closed down. Okay, so because of that, government felt that some assistance need to be given to these businesses. Okay, and then in the third quarter, the economy contracted by minus 2.6%, which is staggeringly below. Staggeringly above this. That means we have improved a bit, and we project that economic growth of this year will be a contraction of 4.5%, which is about the same as the projection for the contraction of the whole global economy by 4.4%. Okay. However, we project that our economic growth in 2021 will be between 6.5 to 7.5%, while a projection for the global recovery is 5.2%. We are confident that we will be our growth in the economy will be higher than the average global growth. Yeah, we are confident is because we start low. When we start low, and we have quite a few measures that we're taking now to make sure that the economy will be launched. Okay, so that's why we're confident that the economy will grow as high as maybe 7.5% next year. And the inflation this year, I think it was by May, the inflation was negative 2.6%, which means it's a deflation. Okay, negative inflation means a deflation. It means not just fall in the price of CPI. It's mainly due to fall in the retail petrol price, as we know that because people are not moving. All cars and vehicles are kept in our garages, so there's no demand for petrol. So simple demand supply theory, price will fall. While at the same time, OPEC refused to cut their supply of petrol. If OPEC agreed to cut their supply of petrol, probably the price will not have gone this low. So this is the worst situation in May, actually, where also the highest unemployment rate was felt in Malaysia, which is 5.3%. Okay, but later in quarter 3, unemployment rate was has improved to 3.4%, which is almost the same as the unemployment rate of last year. Okay, and it is also said that each day that we were in MCO, the economy loses about 2.4 billion worth of business transaction. That's a lot. That's a very staggering loss. Yeah, that's why this contraction of the economy as low as negative 17.1% in the second quarter of this year. Yeah? Okay, in terms of if you talk about sectoral based, yeah, of course the tourism is the most badly hit by this COVID-19. Number one is because of international tourism cannot take place for countries that are depending so much on this. Okay, it's very much hurt by this situation of COVID-19 pandemic, and even local tourism spots also some have to be closed down because of MCO. Between March and May, there was no clients at all for them, so they're very badly hurt by this situation, which much journals have been written about this, the impact of COVID-19 on tourism industry. And Malaysia now, part of the recovery effort, allocating funds to help the tourism spots in Malaysia to improve their physical condition, to attract more local tourists to visit them. Yeah. Okay, this is some figures to show. You see, in the quarter 2, with the economic growth dipped as low as 17.1%. However, in the third quarter, by September, the economy has improved. The contraction is just by negative 2.7%, and this is unemployment Okay, and the inflation rate. Okay, this inflation rate actually correspond to the economic crisis that we had from 1980s to 2020. Okay, what are we doing in Malaysia to help the economy recover from the negative impacts of this COVID-19? Yeah, as I said earlier, the impact, the shock is not just in the demand side, it's both demand and supply shocks, and it is not, the effect is just not on domestic only, it is regional, it is global. So the scope of measures that you have to take is not just contained to domestic. Yeah, the view must be global. And then the duration, it's not the previous economic crisis that we had, we could just recover within a year, but everybody is foreseeing that the recovery of all economies in the world from this economic negative impacts of this COVID-19 will take longer than that. Yeah, and the goals is not just to recover the economy. In the past, in the economic crisis around the 1970s, 1980s, 90s, and almost every 10 years we had economic crisis. The goal is just to recover the economy, to make sure the affected sectors are helped, and to continue production, to increase production. And if it's so much different from what we're having today, because the first and foremost that we have to do is to safeguard, to make sure the people is safe and the people is protected or prevented from getting the deadly disease. Okay, so that's the difference between this particular economic crisis and the previous economic crisis. So first and foremost, we must make sure that the people is safe. Yeah. So we have to focus. Okay, the first focus is short term. Yeah, that is to prevent further poverty, because this pandemic actually is also affecting the socio-economic situation in the country. I mean, not just in the country, in almost all the countries in the world. We also want to prevent closure of business, because much of the businesses that are closed are the SMEs, where in Malaysia about 43% of production come from SMEs. So if the SMEs are affected, then like it or not, the production of the total income of the country will be affected. And then to avoid lasting damage to human capital as well as productivity. That's the short-term focus. Yeah? The long-term focus is we have to address broader structural changes. As everyone said, we have a new norm today. The gig economy is rising. The most vulnerable segments of the population need to be addressed. The issues regarding the most vulnerable segment of the population. So there must be structural changes. For example, improving connectivity. Almost everything is done online today. Okay, things that cannot be because of it's safest way to communicate and to handle business. Okay, during this deadly disease spread, because we have to minimize human interaction physically. Okay, that's why. So essentially, recovery effort must balance the two goals. Yeah, manage the spread of the disease while keeping the economic activities sufficiently active. For example, in Malaysia, there has been a debate on why the government does not impose MCO 2.0. Because in the first MCO in March, the government quickly imposed the MCO when the number of cases increased to double digit, increased to 3 digit. Okay, more than 100 cases, then the government imposed MCO. But now we have thousands of cases every day. It's not just contained to prisons like it was in the second wave. It's not just contained to a certain area. We even have sporadic cases of the disease now. You see, so why didn't the government impose the MCO for the second time, or the MCO 2.0? This is the reason. Because we know that we have to manage the spread of the disease. We have to safeguard the safety and the health of the public. But we must also think about the livelihood of the people. We have to make the economic activity sufficiently active in order for the people survive. Okay, not just health-wise, but also economy-wise. Okay. So, this is the short-term measures that the government have imposed. 5 economic stimulus packages and recovery plans were imposed between February and September. Okay, the first one, this one was announced by the interim prime minister at that time, because we had no prime minister for quite some time in the month of February. Okay, and 20 billion total package, but the first figure is the total package, the value of the package. The second figure is actual fiscal injection, okay, actual money that the government injected into the economy. It's called pre-Prihatin, okay, and then the Prihatin in English means care. Okay, and on March 27th, 1 month after that, the new government announced the Prihatin package, the Care for the People package. Total package worth is 230 billion, but actual fiscal injection by the government is 21.8 billion. Okay, for the first one is the first and the second is actually the assistance to personal individuals. Okay, and April 6, this one is targeting the SME, the small and medium enterprises. The total package was 10 billion, and it was actually, the 10 billion was actually actual fiscal injection by the government. I'm not going to go into the detail of these packages, and then in June, once again, this one is to help the employers. Some employers receive subsidies to pay for the salaries for their workers in order for them not to lay off their workers. And the last one was in September. Again, this is the injection was, the package was worth 10 billion ringgit, and it was all injected by the government through the fiscal injection. So total value of package was 305 billion ringgit, but total direct fiscal injection is 55 billion ringgit. Okay, 38 billion under budget 2020 and 17 billion under the recently announced budget 2021. Okay, this remember in the second quarter, which was in June, okay, the economy contracted by 17.1%. So as a result of this packages, the economy managed to we managed to contain the contraction of the economy only 2.6%. Okay, in September, by September 2020. Okay, so that's the short term, but we need to do something for the long term. As I said earlier, the economy need to be reformed. We need to do some structural reform in the economic system of the country. Everybody is saying the new norms, the vulnerable people who are negatively affected by this pandemic, and by the government's response, or by the public response towards the spread of this pandemic. For example, the MCO, the people who are being very cautious, like as I said myself, I have not left my home except for going to work, or except for emergency purposes since March. Okay, so what are we doing in the for the long-term approach? The long-term approach was all presented in the budget, federal budget 2021, where there are 3 goals. Okay, there are 3 goals. Number 1, as I said, the people's well-being. Number 2 is for the business run continuously, because we are not just aiming to be healthy, but we're healthy in terms of our physical health, our mental health. We also want to make sure that the economy runs smoothly, so that both the economic aspect and the health aspect of the people's are well taken care of. And the third goal is for the economic resilience. Okay, we have to. This is actually outlined in our Malaysia Plan 12th Malaysia Plan, which will our 5-year national plan, which will start 2021. So we need to have the continuous effort in order for the recovery to for the economic to recover continuously beyond 2021. So almost all of these goals, the 3 goals: first goal, people's well-being; the second goal, business continuity; and the third goal, economic resilience. In all these goals, one sector or one thing came up very continuously, which is improving the information infrastructure, the ICT infrastructure, the internet connectivity, because everything is online now. Even schools are online. Health diagnostic is also online, and we have to minimize human interaction physically. So that is one very important infrastructure that need to be improved. Also, in this people's well-being, we are addressing all the and touching everyone in the economy, from the fishermen, the most vulnerable people, which are people who are in the gig economy, people who are earning from day-to-day basis. Okay, people who are the self-employed, and to the people who are working in a fixed income basis. So everything is actually addressed in our federal budget of 2021, which has been passed, which was presented in November and has been passed recently, last month, or earlier this month, I think. Okay. Sorry, where is it? That's all from me today. Thank you very much. So I open now for if you have any questions.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prof. Asmahani. It was such a great presentation. So from Prof. Asmahani, we can conclude that and remind us that this is, sorry, hello, can you hear my voice, Prof?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So from your presentation, you remind us that this is not only about economic pandemic, but about safety for us. So as the government need to think that we protect the people and that to stabilize the economy. So if you guys have a question for the Prof. Asmahani, you can drop your question on a comment with the format ask, your name, and your affiliation. Okay, so we have some question here. Okay, while waiting the participant to write their question. All right, sorry for the instable. Okay, this is the question from Putri Wahyu Kuning Tias from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan. Based on Prof. Asmahani Asudulai already said before about the economic recovery. I want to ask if that's really compatible in this era when we actually know that we are not in the end of the pandemic. And then the second question is we pretend that pandemic is over, but actually in here the pandemic is not ended yet, or it is okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Putri Wahyuku from UML, University Muhammadiyah Lamongan. That's a good question. As I mentioned earlier, even though the topic is about, after pandemic COVID-19, we are not saying that the pandemic is over, but we are being optimistic because as you know, the vaccine has been discovered, and Malaysia is actually going to buy the vaccine from the manufacturers in the US. I think Pfizer is in the US, I think, and the first batch of the vaccine will arrive in Malaysia early next year. So we're not saying that it's really over, but we are hoping that 2021 will be the beginning of the recovery process from the pandemic. But economically speaking, we cannot wait until the pandemic is over before we plan something or before we take action. Because if we do not take action now, the economy will be going down spirally, and when we have public health crisis, we don't want our economy to be in a uncontrollable crisis. We cannot, whenever we are in crisis, we will look for the variable that we can control. Okay, the public health variable, which is caused by the pandemic COVID-19, it's somewhat less controllable than the economy. Okay, so we concentrate on recovering the economy while trying to contain the spread of the disease. That's why I said in our effort to improve the economy, to recover the economy from the negative impacts of this pandemic, we have to look at these both goals. We have to balance both goals. Goal number one is to contain the spread of the disease. Goal number two is to keep the economy sufficiently active for the well-being of the people, for the well-being of the people. But these two goals are actually concerning the well-being of the people of the country. One in the health-wise, the other one is economy-wise. Okay, that's a good question.
Kita mulai bang video ya. Walang pulau.
Okay, sorry guys, please mute. Okay. Okay, so guys, remember that as Prof. Asmani said that we need to focus on human-wise and the economic-wise. Okay, for the next question.
From Dian Apriska.
From
Yeah.
Dian.
Okay,
I want to ask, how do we allocate limited medical resources between all wards with it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. How do we allocate the medical resources? Of course. This is a very good question because, of course, when we have limited resources of anything, we have to have the priority list. I think you learned it in economics when we have scarce resources and there will be opportunity cost. Therefore, we have to really have our priority list. For example, in Malaysia, the first batch of vaccine will only enough to cover about 20% of the population. Okay, so who will get the vaccine? Right, so there's a big question there, but it has not been really decided, but the government has reiterated that the most risky groups, the groups which are considered as the riskiest group will get the first batch of the vaccine. For example, the frontliners, the people who are working in the treatment of the COVID-19 patients, and then the whatever the groups of which has the high risk will get the first batch of the vaccine. All right, and then about the medical treatment, Alhamdulillah, Malaysia have not yet reached the point where we have to really select who should we treat and who should we not treat. Okay, so far we have not yet come to that point, and Alhamdulillah, and the facilities to treat the patients have been expanded. Recently, we have opened one of the conventional center on the way to Putrajaya. I forgot the name of the place. I think it's in Serdang. Yeah, in Serdang, on the way to Putrajaya. We opened that the whole hall of a convention center has been opened. There was no patient yet, but it is for the future if we really cannot control the number of new cases in the future. Okay, thank you for that question.
All right, for the next question is from Agus Arifianto from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan also. So the Organization for the Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, project global economic recovery due to the COVID-19 pandemic will take at least 2 years. So if the OECD projection are correct, then what I ask is if there is a way or a strategy to accelerate the post-pandemic economic recovery. If so, what strategy should we do besides developing innovative post-pandemic business to accelerate post-pandemic economic recovery? All right.
Very good question. Yeah. It's a question that everybody is trying to answer. As I said, we are in nowadays. I think everybody is believing in Keynesian economics. Okay, those who have learned economics before, there are two schools of economics. The classical, three schools: the classical, Keynesian, and the neoclassical. The classical and the neoclassical, or the monetarists, believe that we should leave the economy to recover on its own, but we don't believe that. Okay, we believe in Keynesian economics, where the government must play a very important role in correcting any economic imbalances. Okay, like what we are facing now. Okay, the pandemic has caused the whole global economy to contract. You see, so it is the responsibility of the government, together with the experts in each country in the world, to come up with a strategy, with the measures, drastic or not, short term or long term, that they feel fit in order to bring their economy out of this recession, to bring the economy out of this, economic problem. And as I had presented earlier, the government of Malaysia is taking very active role. And the recent budget which was tabled last month, the budget for the federal budget for 2021 for next year is the biggest budget ever presented in the whole history of Malaysia. Okay, and 55 billion is allocated. 55 billion is allocated on handling this COVID-19 situation. Never has been done before. There is a special allocation for a certain course in a particular budget in our country. Yeah? So we are keeping our fingers crossed. We are hoping that all this will accelerate our economic recovery, as is everything's fall in place, and we're not leaving it to chances. We are doing everything that we can, and we are so optimistic that we believe that next year our economy will grow maximum 7.5%. Okay, we not saying that we do not believe in what OECD projection. Okay, we acknowledge that the whole global economy will only recover at least 2 years. Okay.
All right, Prof. I think the question, and because we are running out of time, we will end your session. Thank you so much for your time, and we can learn so much from your presentation. And okay, thank you so much, Prof, for your presentation. We can gain many insights and ideas from the Malaysian.
Students.
I think okay.
That's here.
Penting absen.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So because we are running out of the time, we will end Prof. Asmahani's session. Thank you so much, Prof. And we can learn so much from Malaysia, because like Malaysia taking care of...
Somebody is singing.
Okay, sorry guys, please mute your microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Okay,
You're welcome. My pleasure.
All right, we will moving on to the next session. Okay, to the next.
About Malaysia towards recovery in short term, can you share me the models to prevent further poverty and damage to human capital and productivity-based gender? Whatever, thanks. Okay, in short term, let us share the model for okay, can I answer the hello?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, bro.
Am I supposed to answer this question now by you, Hamka?
Okay, you can take your time.
Okay. The question is about the models for preventing further poverty and damage to human capital and productivity-based gender. Okay. Number one, the 5 packages, yeah, the short-term measure by the government of Malaysia. The first 2 package was actually giving out financial assistance, direct financial assistance to the people who are affected, either lost their job or not able to work because they are earning daily income, and they're not able to work because of the MCO, and there's some other parameters that the government has set for the people to apply for this assistance. And secondly is to help the SMEs, because SMEs, 43% of production in Malaysia is from the SMEs. So the SMEs are not only self-employed, employing themselves, they also have employees. You see, so by helping, by giving financial assistance to SMEs also will help to prevent people from losing their job. And also in the Penjana package, employers receive certain government help to pay certain percentage of salaries of the employees of organizations. Okay, there are also some terms and conditions that the companies have to fulfill. Okay, and trainings and retrainings and reskillings are also provided, are also financed by the government for the private sector to provide to the people who are affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, that's in a nutshell about this particular, about how these short-term packages can help reduce to help prevent further poverty or damages to human capital and productivity base. If we talk about gender, this particular, our package are not really, it's not specific to any gender. Anybody that are qualified to apply for the assistance can apply. Okay, it doesn't matter male or female. So we are not really, you don't have really specific agenda for female or for male, or gender specific or gender bias. Yeah, thank you very much.
Actually, we have another question on YouTube, but it was covered from previous question. So it's because we are running out of time, we will moving on the next question. All right. So before,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rob. Okay, before we move to the next session, I will read our rules for today. So participants, please remind to mute your microphone during the webinar session, and then filling out the attendance list once at the end of the event. And then that all participants who take the webinar via Zoom or YouTube Live, you can ask your question with the format ask, your name, and your affiliation. You can drop your question on the comment on Zoom or on YouTube. And then the certification will be given to participants who took part in the event from the beginning until the end of the event, and register and fill attendance the webinar in the last session. Participant certificate information will be conveyed to the WhatsApp group, so stay tuned on your WhatsApp group. And then the attendance link will be shared by moderator at the end of the event. Okay, let's move on to the next session. To the next session, we have three speakers from Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan. They are Miss Alvina Asadam, Miss Devi Febrianti, and Miss Faroha Muzainatun Niswa. Before we starting, I will be briefly introduce our speaker to you guys. Okay, the speaker is Miss Alvina Asadam. Her background is from management. She studied management in Universitas Brawijaya, and then she continued her master on Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang. And then the second speaker is Miss Devi Febrianti. Her background is accounting. She studied accounting in Universitas Brawijaya and then also continue her master on Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang. And our last speaker is Ms. Faroha Muzayinatun Niswa. Her background is Islamic economics. She studied Islamic economics on Universitas Airlangga, and then she continue on Universitas Indonesia. As such, okay, entering the, okay, pardon. Sorry, let's get started with the business side will be presented by Ms. Alvina. As we know that many businesses are collapsed during this pandemic, or they are shifting their business because the customer needs and customer new way of life. We will hear some insight from Ms. Alvina that will talk about build creative and innovative business in the pandemic era. Ms. Alvina, the time is yours. Hello, Ms. Alvina. Ms. Alvina. Hello, Ms. Faiha. Okay. Okay, you can start it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fariha. I'll take my time. Can you hear me well? Okay, thank you. I'll start my presentation. Before, I would like to thanks to all audience. Then, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Can you see my presentation? Yes. Okay. And my time right now, I will sharing what I know, because COVID-19 is something new for everybody. And I will give my insight about this pandemic, about how to build creative and innovative business in pandemic era. Okay, this is the first case in Indonesia is announced by our President Insinyur Joko Widodo at March 2nd, 2020. And that's found there is two Indonesian people infected by coronavirus. And right now in Indonesia, reached 600,000 they are infected by coronavirus, and this is make all the people in Indonesia were worrying about this pandemic. Everybody start panic buying, buy to what we call store, and they buy rice, noodle, all they buy to make how they're not going outside for a few days to avoiding spreading the COVID-19 virus. So knowing this, the government made sure that the country has sufficient supplies, especially this coronavirus is approaching Idul Fitri. So the supplies of what the necessity of people is still sufficient at that time. To avoiding the spreading of the coronavirus, the government has implied new rules that we call working at home. Not only working at home, but also schooling at home, praying at home. Then everybody did why government do it to avoid the spreading of this COVID-19, avoiding the crowded the people. At the same time, several cities are implementing local lockdown. This impact make more working at home and local lockdown made people reduce their purchase power, which impact to decrease in economy in Indonesia. And people become unable to buy, the company become unable to pay their employee salary. So they decided to lay off the employee. This time, so government give subsidies to the public, like Asmahani shared just now, the Malaysian to share Prihatin fund, and also in Indonesian to give fund for who affected by coronavirus. Also for UKM or SME, SME in Indonesian, and also for studies, they get internet quota in this subsidy from the government. So right now, Indonesia, the government realized that the pandemic wouldn't end quickly. So there was a new policy we called new norm, with everybody can doing activity as before by complying the health protocol, like using masks, washing hands frequently, and keep distance from others. Okay, what the impact of COVID-19 in Indonesian SME? What happening is this?
It's okay, just continue.
Okay. This is the impact of COVID-19 in Indonesian SME. We know this COVID-19 may collapse to our economy. In this in the SME in Indonesia, there we show in this diagram 37%. They're no selling. It's mean no selling is no income for every who work at SME, that SME. 4% show there is same income. So there is 55% show decrease in economic income, and only 4% who survive and increase in their income. This the government do giving the subsidies to these SMEs in Indonesia. There are government buy the product, SME product that's helping SME to survive. So restructuring program and subsidizing interest rate for micro business credit. The government hold the credit for SMEs, so they just can survive with all they get from sales, not for paying the credit of only for a few months. So there is tax relief, and SME employee get a cash subsidy. We call cash subsidy like Prihatin fund in Malaysia. Here it is the SMEs in Indonesia. This is the example like making frying pan. There is making snack, a tailor, and there's mom selling his merchandise in market, making toys and other. That's all impacted by this coronavirus. So how about the entrepreneur? We are as entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is an individual who creates a new business, bearing most of the risk and enjoy most of the reward. Okay, we get the line, the risk. The entrepreneur is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new idea, goods, service, and business. An entrepreneur must be able to predict the future and change all challenge become an opportunity. This is how the entrepreneur could be. COVID-19 pandemic is a business risk. As before, as we call entrepreneur, is bearing most of the risk. That this is pandemic is one of the risks in business. So what we should do, to this risk, or how transferring this risk or avoiding this risk, reduce or accept. And this is COVID-19 is one of the risks that we cannot transfer that risk, or avoiding that, or reducing that virus, that we have to accept it. So how to coexist between business and COVID-19? How to live side by side with this COVID-19? Okay, we focus on for person that there is increased income during the pandemic. This is there are beauty and health. We know everybody now is staying at home, and they have a lot of time to themselves, so they try to the tutorial beauty. So this beauty and health is increasing, one of the increasing income. There is logistic and also laundry. Maybe they're all to cleaning their home service, that's increased too. Which was the decrease? There is a restaurant, sport like gym, and hobby sector, building shop. This is we have to focus what we have to take this advantage. Now, this is the few company that they are increasing their income. There is Google Meet, Edmodo 2, and Zoom, like we are using now, and Mobile Legends. This is like game. They are having increasing user right now. So the first step we have to do is we have to know how the customer behavior during pandemic. There are some people lying and bring their phone, gaming, so watching Korean movie maybe. The woman like to gardening and try to make up tutorial, reading book, gym at home, and work at home. This is the basic. This is the basic. What should we do to these all people? They are these behaviors like they do like this. So which kind of market will be our target in our business? So if we have a product, let's review our product. What we people need based on their behavior, what people want. This is so which product technology we have. If you have a product, if you have a business, so what product need to modify? What product need to modify? Like this, the right side, there are wine. Before they are produced wine, but the company can produce the the alcohol. Sorry. So, if many people made a dress, right now everybody else need a mask. So, make a new model of mask that everybody want to wear it. So, sorry. So have to follow new normal rule. Why you have to follow new normal rule? Because this is for the farmer or the labor have to feel safety when they are work. When they are make a product, they have to feel safety when they are work. Then they can get their income and then they can continue their activity to work. So start go online. Right now, all the technology force us to online, not only about ourselves, like Instagram showing our photo or other, but you should take this advantage to show what we have, what our product. Start now and start to share your product and start online. Start sell your skill, yeah, not yourself. This is all what you have, all what your skill. Just show it. Never share what everything other. Sorry. I'm back. Never side with everything what others say. Start. Everybody have their own skill. Then you sell it Just sell it at the online. Maybe you can be content creator or you be a consultant of a content creator. Which skill you have? Be tutor for school maybe, or create online shop account. So follow the update technology. Maybe you can use the TikTok right now booming. You may use it to sell your product or yourself, your skill. Okay, maybe this my presentation. Will the discussion after here, Miss Faria.
Okay, Miss Alvina, for your presentation. So, from Miss Alvina explanation, we as an entrepreneur, we should aware for any change, so we can make a disadvantage to advantage. All right, moving on the next session. Oh yeah, for your explanation, the Q&A session will be due after all the speakers. So we will continue to the second speaker is Miss Devi. After we discuss about how the business operation, and then we discuss about what is the risk. Okay, after we talk about business operation, next we will talking about the risk faced by the firm or the company. So for Miss Devi Febrianti, the time is yours. Hello, Miss Devi, are you there?
Okay, wait. Okay. Thank you, Miss Fariha. Good morning, all. I will sharing about the report and some literature I was read about financial risk management strategy during COVID-19 pandemic. Wait, I will share my presentation. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Sorry. Okay. As we know, the spread of the coronavirus is currently increasing until now. You can see the graphic. This has an impact on the global economy. Lots of reports and various studies that report the current state of the global economy. And for the example, the report issued by JP Morgan say the global economy will slow down in 1.1% or a negative 1.1%. And then EYU say the global economy will slow down in 2.2%. And then Fitch say The global economy will slow down in 1.9%. And then IMF say the global economy will slow down in 3%. And IMF report more than 50% country is in recession. You can see of the middle of graphic that indicate by the red indicator is in recession. This and it described decline as the worst since the Great Depression of the 1930s. And then, in addition, many sectors in Indonesia were affected by this pandemic too. They affect more than 50%. Highest impact on the food and beverage sector in more than followed by other service and then transportation, construction, and then manufacture and trade. Because of that, very important to manage risk for sustainability of the organization, especially financial risk management. Okay. And if we talk about risk, we must talk about 3 dimensions of time. There are past, now, and future. We say risk if when the problem has not happened, risk, okay? And if the incident had happened, we can categorical crisis or disaster. We can say COVID-19 is our problem because there is not a country that's not affected. All of industry were affected of COVID. So the big question is how an organization looking for about this problem, especially the leader. And the top leader of the organization actually must be decision or policies that can overcome the problem occur so that it can prevent the organization from crisis or disaster. And the big question is, where does risk management or RM come role? RM will play a good role in the impact of COVID. The first step is the leader must define our position. Okay, risk management plays role in crisis management. So, when a company wants to establish a policy, it must be based on risk because risk is something that will happen in the future. The leader must define our position whether this is a risk of crisis or disaster for the company before he make a decision or policies, so that the leader must know where we are. The company confront problems depend on competency of the leader. Good competence in terms of how the leader looks in bringing the organization nimble of seeing opportunities that arise. So the role of risk management is ensure that the decision taken to solve the problem are right on target, target of the organization. Okay. So the important side is how the leader play an important role to fight the risk of COVID-19. Anyone hear me? Okay, thank you. And how is the leader has commit? According to ISO standard about risk management, there are 3 important points. That is risk management principle, and then risk management framework, and risk management process. Risk management principle is focused on value creation and protection. And then risk management framework focus on leadership and commitment. And risk management process focus on scope, context criteria, risk, and then risk assessment and risk treatment. And then about risk management principle. If we talk about risk management principle, we talk about value creation and protection. There are 8 points in value creation and protection or in risk management principle. The first about integrated. Integrated mean risk management can be integrated across organizational process. And then second about structure and comprehensive. That means risk management principle must be structured and comprehensive. And then about customized, that's the meaning is risk management must be adapted to the characteristic of the organization. And then about inclusive, risk management principle, inclusive is involving all stakeholders. And then about dynamic, dynamic in risk management principle is related to change and can adapt according to condition. And then about best available information, the meaning is risk management must be provide the best information for stakeholders. And then about human and cultural factor, risk management also depend on human and cultural factor. And then the last is about continual improvement. Risk management must make continuous improvement. And then we talk about this management framework. There are 5 points in risk management framework. If we talk about risk management framework, we talk about leadership and commitment. The first about integration, top management must ensure that risk management is integrated into all organization activities and is an integral part of the organization goals, governance, and strategy. And then about design, in designing, risk management must be adapted to the external and internal context of the company. And then about the implementation, the organization or company must implement the risk management framework. And then the fourth, about evaluation, the organization shall regularly measure the performance of risk management framework against its implementation plans and organizational goals. And the last, the organization must periodically evaluate and improve the risk management framework. And then we talk about risk management process. About risk management process, we talk about scope, context criteria, and then risk assessment, and risk treatment. There are three things to do in risk management process. And then finally, the end of the result of risk treatment must be consulted with stakeholders, and all activities must be monitored and reported to top management. And then the leader must think and act across 5 horizons. First, about resolve. Second, resilience. 3, return. 4, about reimagination. And the last, about reform. So, one, the leader must address the immediate challenge that COVID-19 represent to the company workforce, customers, technology, and business partners. This is include customer and brand protection, short finance management, supply chain management, workforce management, and employment health. And then about resilience, the leader must address near-term cash management challenge and broader resiliency issues during virus-related shutdown and economic knock on effect. And then third, about return, the leader must create a detailed plan to return the business back the virus involves and knock-on effect become clearer. And the fourth, reimagination. The leader must be reimagination the next normal. What a discontinuous shift looks like and implication for how the company should reinvent. And the last about reform, the leader must be clear about how the regulatory and competitive environment in your industry may shift. And then companies should consider their strategy across now, next, and beyond. Step 1 is take step now to stabilize our business and manage the crisis. This is include customer and brand protection, and then employment health, legal and contract dispute resolution, etc. And second, just focus on the next purpose by building enterprise resilience. The meaning is to ensure you will be prepared or companies will be prepared across all function if the crisis is continue. And then the last is ensure with the beyond. The meaning is understanding the new normal that will emerge beyond the crisis and reframing your future to align with it. And then the last about financial risk management. Companies with a fairly strong and very strong cash flow category will also be disrupted by the presence of COVID. Of course, yeah. Its cash flow until the end of the year is still sufficient, but with a severely deteriorating financial condition, it could disrupt the company's finance in the coming months. Companies have the potential to experience cash flow mismatch if the pandemic is not over by the end of the year. There are several ways to solve it, such as first, selective investment, second, workforce protection, third, cash optimization, and fourth, about profit and loss sensitivity analysis. I think that's all, Miss Fariha.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Devi, for your presentation. Okay, so from Ms. Devi presentation, we can see that You need to think carefully when you take any action because everything causes a risk. Then, which risk are you prefer? Okay, you can drop your question on the comment. We will move to the Miss Farah after this. After Miss Farah, we will have a Q&A discussion. All right, so Miss Farah, are you still there?
Yeah, here, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, since Ms. Farah's background is Islamic economics, her topic discussion is about halal industry. Is halal industry is a big industry? What is the scale of the halal industry? Is it his impact and giving the role of the economy? Okay, let's hand over this study session to Ms. Farah. Ms. Farah, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Fariha. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now I'm going to begin my presentation. Here, I'm going to talk about a halal industry. Maybe some of you doesn't know about halal industry, not familiar with this, but today I'm going to tell about the role of halal industry in economic recovery. So first, can you see my presentation? Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah. So here are the topics and highlight of today's presentation. I'm going to begin from the introduction, what is halal industry, and then continue to halal industry in the pandemic era, and then the big potential of halal industry, and then the last I'm going to discuss about halal industry in the pandemic era. So first, I want to ask a question to you. What comes to your mind when you hear about the word halal? Is it halal food? Or maybe halal drink, no alcohol? Or maybe halal cosmetic? Okay. Or maybe Islamic bank? Yeah. All of them are included in halal industry. So what is halal industry? So halal industry is an effort to produce a product, or we can say services, in accordance with the provision of the Islamic law, or we can call it Sharia. So how important is halal? So as a Muslim, we know that halal is a very important, is such as for obligation and also necessity. It is as a manifestation of the human obedience in the carrying Allah's law, which is a manifestation of the faith. And here in Indonesia already has law about the halal industry. It's been regulated since 2014 in law number 33. It's about a halal product warranty. So here all the products, all the halal products is regulated here. And then now let's talk about halal business. So what are the characteristics of the halal business? First, halal product. Halal product is not just for the halal, for the Muslim, but also for non-Muslim. So it's for all people. And then for Muslim, halal itself is such as for spiritual safety concern. Yeah, because we have, as a Muslim, we have to obey the law. And for the other, for the general, is halal is for the fulfillment of the qualities, safety, and also health requirements. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, is it good? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Now, and the third one is halal product that have been audited for their halalness through the halal certification process by the halal audit agency. And here is also approval by Islamic Ulama Institute of the country. In here in Indonesia, we have MUI, Majelis Ulama Indonesia. And then halal business producer can be from Islamic country or Muslim countries and also non-countries, as long as they obey the rule, as long as the products already have been certified by the halal audit agency. Okay, so there are so many factors, many sectors that can be developed in the halal industry. In Indonesia, there are 10 sectors in Indonesia that must be encouraged, can be developed into halal industry, such as food, tourism, fashion, cosmetics, education, and then finance, pharmacy, media and recreation, and then health and finance, and then the last is art and culture. Okay. Now we already know about the halal industry, so now let's go about halal industry in this era, in this pandemic after COVID. So as we know that almost all the industrial sectors is already affected by COVID-19. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about how big is COVID in Indonesia because we already hear from the speaker one and speaker two. So here, because of all this run, it also affect on the halal industry. Halal industry is experiencing a setback because of the global economic slowdown, because of the COVID, because of this pandemic. But there are the biggest sector that be hit most by COVID-19. The first one is, of course, travel and tourism sectors. And then the second one is Islamic finance. And then the last one is food sectors. So from the tourism or from the travel sector was the hardest hit by COVID-19. So in his data, I have this data from the World Tourism Organization that predict tourism arrivals fall by 20 until 30% in 2020. And this is as a decline in the international tourism of between 300 until 450 billion dollars. So it's almost, we can say that it's almost 1/3 of the total generated. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for the trouble. Yeah, and here the disruption also this effect on the jobs, on the people that work here in this sector. So around 75 million people have lost their jobs due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So and then currently we talk about the consumption of the food. The household consumption is already dropped 5.1%. Based on the Indonesian Food Beverage Association, and then the COVID-19. There is something wrong. Yeah, and then this one, and then the crisis. How about the Islamic finance? Yeah, Islamic finance also get affected because of this pandemic. Yeah, the current crisis affecting because there is especially for the medium and small enterprises, just like the speaker one, Ms. Alvina said before, as well as now because the low income, the banking are give the money to the SMEs, so they have and a good condition to pay back. So it's really affecting the Islamic finance also. But it's reported that the global economic slowdown is not severe as the global economic growth as the whole. It says that the global Islamic economic contract is 2.5, while the world is 5.2%. Okay. Now, this is the question. Are we already in the recovery phase? Yeah, the answer is yes. Just as the President, Mr. Jokowi said in the 2020 Bank Indonesia annual meeting. So Indonesia now is already in the recovery phase. So that's why this is the important time for Islamic industry to take control to help Indonesia in a recovery, to recover the economy. Actually, Indonesia has a very big potential in Islamic industry. Yeah, in halal industry. So why? The first, Indonesia, we already know that we have a very large Muslim population. It said that 87.18% of the total population in Indonesia are Muslim, or we can say it's around 13% of the world's Muslim population. And also with this, Indonesia can be the strongest halal industry, halal economy in the world. So this one is the potential of Indonesia. And then the second one, Indonesia, based on the data from the Thomson Reuters in State of the Global Islamic Economy Report 2019-2020, Indonesia's ranking for the global Islamic economy is in the 4th position, while the last year is on the 5th one. And if you look at this, look at the data, all Indonesia, you can see it. Indonesia enter all the top 10 in all sectors, while last year we just entered the top 10 just in 3 sectors. This is such a great achievement for us. Okay, and then the next one is we already have the first one. Indonesia ranked the first in the global Sharia financial market in 2019, and then we also become the best halal tourism destination based on the Global Muslim Travel Index in 2019, with the city is Lombok as the first one, and then other than that, we know that the product, the halal product export always increasing, keep increasing from year to year. On the July 2019, the net export in Indonesia halal product reached up to $1.61 billion. So this is the highest in the last 2 years. And not just that, the expenditure, the consumer, the Muslim consumption continue to increase. Not just because the COVID-19, actually, yeah, there is a slowdown, but not much than, if I'm not wrong, 2.5%. Now, because we can order the halal products through online, right? So that's why this is a good thing through online. So other than that, the interest of the halal product is also from non-Muslims, and it's kept increasing. Okay, and then we also have a full support from the governments. There are so many efforts from the governments to make halal industries become bigger and bigger. The reason one is the issuance of the presidential regulation number 28 of 2020 concerning the National Committee of Sharia Economics and Finance, KNKS, to make it bigger, to make the halal become bigger and the best in the world. So, as we have all the potential, the big potential of the halal industry, especially for Indonesia, so Indonesia should grab this opportunity. Indonesia should prepare the strategy for the halal industry to help Indonesia to recover from this pandemic, especially in economic recovery. So the first strategy is about Muslim family travel or halal travel tourism. This sector is the most impacted one from the COVID-19. So in this tourism industry, the strategy is the first must be able to face the new era and adapt to the changing of the consumer behavior. So the first one is adjusting the strategies, and then regulation, implementing the protocol to handle the COVID-19 from the government when reopening tourism, or maybe this one, maybe next year, or maybe the next year again. And then the second one, in ensuring the health and also safety protocols in the tourism industry. Of course, this is the most important as today. And then the third one is education, communication, marketing to gain the trust of the tourism. Because in this pandemic, there are so many problems that become the reason of the tourism that don't want to travel to go to somewhere. So we need education, and also communication to gain the trust. And then the fourth one is invest in technology and human resource to reduce the touch, because it is really dangerous if we touch each other. because of the COVID. So to prevent that, we should embrace the technology and also human resources to minimize this. And then the last is implementing a business model, especially in a product and services, and being responsible. Okay, so this is from the travel sectors. And then, now, this one also. This is from Nahla Mesbah as a senior consultant of dinner standard. There are important strategies in overcome difficulties in these sectors. The first is virtual tours. This is such a carried by Minister of Tourism in Egypt. And then we need private sector support initiative, such as startup hotel data cloud using, we can get help from artificial intelligence and a machine to help hotels engage their customer. And then the third one is government support initiative, such as several countries already prepare stimulus packages for the tourism industry. Actually, in our country, our government already gave us stimulus packages, maybe just now for the community, not from the tourism industry. I think it's not yet happened. And then the last one is mergers. Such as several airlines are discussing mergers, such as Air Malaysia and Air Asia. Okay. And then we have these sectors, halal food and industry as the biggest one, the biggest sectors that produce the revenue, the biggest revenue in this halal sector, in this halal industry. In this global food industry, a form of the adoption to a new habits that will become post-epidemic trend, but both in the term of consumer behavior, production chains, and also rule of the government. So in the future, there will be increasing in consumption of the healthy hygiene food, and then online shopping, and then processing and cooking food at home, and the importance of the consumer confidence in hygienic and also health products. And in the modest fashion, so the modest fashion in the development of the Muslim fashion trend is not only limited to the clothes that are covered according to Sharia. We have to cover our awrat, not just like that, but more broadly, we have to pay attention to the balance to the nature. But human and environment should be balanced and not and no damage. We cannot have a damage to the environment. So, okay, let's just skip. Now, this is the last, Islamic finance. So in Islamic finance, the best strategy is, I think Indonesia already did it, the strengthen Indonesia, strengthen Islamic financial institution carried by merging three state-owned Islamic banks, Bank Syariah Mandiri, BRI Syariah, and also BNI Syariah. So this is, I think this is the best strategy to overcome this pandemic and economic recovery. So I think this is all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Okay, I'm going to send back to the Miss Farihah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Farah. So from Ms. Farah's explanation, we realized that the halal industry is wider than our expectation, right? And then I also highlight from Ms. Farah said before that even in the pandemic, the halal products is increasing in the e-commerce. All right, I guess everyone have been excited and have many questions. We will be starting to Q&A session. So once again, I remind you guys, if you have a question, just drop your question and don't forget to text who you address your question. Okay, so be ready, Miss Alvina, Miss Devi, and Miss Farah. The first question is from Imran Izam. The question is, I think it's for Miss Alvina. All right, for the content creator, how do we attract audience? Because it's too many content creators right now, so it will be impossible to attract people to watch our content. Okay, so please, Miss Alvina. Miss Alvina?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, wait. From home just now.
From Imran. So how do we attract the audience? Because there's too many content creators. So,
Okay, thank you for Imran. As we know, there are so many people right now playing in YouTube. But first we have to focus. We have to focus. We have to focus what our skill, and that we can share. We begin to share what our skill. That by sharing we can also learn from other. But you have to know that one of famous content creator not exactly get a lot of subscriber. There is process. Then you have to continue it. Maybe every week you should share your video, what your skill, what you have known before than other. It's been consistent and always upgrade your skill. How to reach other people to see your video? You should promote yourself. You should promote yourself. There's many advertising to promote yourself, but begin from the people around you. People around you. That's a progress. That's process we have to take it. That's enough. You have to focus on your skill, upgrade your skill too, and consistent. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alvina. And then go to the Ivan question. There's a question from Pony. So, Miss Alvina, what should we prepare if we don't have any skill? So, in the previous question, you said that we need to promote our skill. Then, how about if we don't have any skill?
Oh, okay. Maybe what should we do? We want to produce something, but we don't have any skill or any product to idea making a new product. Okay, we know about ATM, or in Indonesia observe, copy and modify. ATM, amati, tiru, dan modifikasi. That's we know every idea in this word is not really origin. That's idea we can phone it from other. Maybe when we are walking around the garden, so every people need this product. That's we can see it, observant to what around us, or what social media booming that time. So after observant, we have to be copying. Not only exactly copying 100%, but we need to modify. Maybe we want to make a mask, but how our mask is different with other. Maybe you can make from other fabric or other color, or you make other design. That's we have to observe from from people need. So copying that, and don't forget to modify. That's the big point. Modify, not only exactly 100% or exactly copy, but should be modified. That's okay. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, so for me, you need to copy and don't forget to modify, because you need to something different, right? Okay, for the next question is from Fanny Margareta. This question is also for Miss Alvina. So, Fanny, when someone has the idea of making craft business during this pandemic, but she doesn't use glue because the material makes her annoying, because the material annoys her. So, while during this pandemic, we are not allowed to hold hand or object directly. My question is how to handle this problem.
Okay. Maybe we found this condition in around us. Okay, but this is we are in pandemic. We have to keep ourselves healthy, and other people, and other people what we love, to stay healthy. And I told before, if the business want to keep life and keep going in this pandemic, they have to adopt the new norm. Why? This is maybe not exactly show the impact. But when the one of two labor or employee affected from this virus, that will down all the business. That what the owner have to do is the first, they have to give awareness to his worker, to their worker. That awareness is not only giving they talk, you have to do this or something else, but giving the example. So provide a facility too, not only just us, but provide a facility for employee, for the workers. I know this is not uncomfortable for them, but we have to stay with this new norm activity. Maybe we never know, can we back to our old norm? Then we have to try to start doing this. This is new. This is new, so this is uncomfortable. But if we have, this is have to be our habit, and this will keep our safety. This is most. Every people have to do health protocol. That's enough.
Okay, you miss. So safety first, guys. All right, moving on to the next question is from Dian Apristka. This question is for Miss Devi Febrianti. Okay, Miss Devi, you said in the PPT that are the most affected are accommodation and food or beverage. Then how we can convince consumer to try our business in this field, because it doesn't rule out that many customers are afraid to choose or buy a certain item, especially in the food or beverage field. Okay, how about this? See? Devi?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Fariha. Okay. I think we have to strengthen our marketing strategy. That's the point. Before that, we have to determine who our target is. Nah, this is important. After that, we carried out our marketing method. First, actually, the product we offer must have advantage over others in order to make them interested in buying. Then we can show testimonial from consumer who have booked, because I think this is the best marketing to get other people interested, right? And because now is a pandemic period, maybe it's best to provide service to reduce the effect of the pandemic. And so that many people know how about your product, you can pay maybe a program, a Telegram maybe, to provide testimonial. I think this is the most effective strategy in increasing sales. Or you can sell the product frozen food, because I believe a lot of people now are interested in buying frozen product at this time of the pandemic. I think this is my answer about the first question, Ms. Fariha.
Okay, for the second question is from Fanny.
Yeah.
Okay, COVID-19, which has been going on for months, has caused a crisis in tourism and has caused a decrease in international tourist arrival. Restaurant, hotel, and airport must close and cause losses. What is the risk management strategy for the tourism sector?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fariha. I think we must find multiple risk management strategies. That's the first. And then the lead of the company must create a plan for implementing a risk management strategy in your company. After that, the leader must cooperating with relevant stakeholders, and then train HR, and then test the implementation plan. We must test the implementation plan because we don't know the plan was successful or not if we are not test. And then setting up a good communication system with worker, with consumer, and you version. This is important. Always update information about the tourism industry, which can get worse or better one day. Immediately, you can save your business after a crisis with a strategy that has been made. Rearrange the business model to suit post crisis circumstance. I think that. Okay.
Okay, and then the last question is from Afifa. The question is, what's the difference about problem, risk, and disaster? How does the company handle when it associates with the risk management?
Okay, thank you. I think it was explained earlier, right? If the problem just happened, then it had an impact on the company. Categorized as a crisis and disaster when the problem has occurred. So for the example, I will give you an example. We never knew that this pandemic will exist, isn't right? Now, when a pandemic occurs, we can categorize it is a problem because no one country is ready to face this pandemic, and various industry and organization. But we must ready. Then with this problem, company leaders must establish policies to overcome problems that occur. For example, work from home and work on shift so that productivity is not as good as in normal situation. This will be a problem because the productivity level is not as good as yesterday, and the output absolutely is not as much as before the pandemic, so that the sale will fall. If this continues, it will become a crisis. If the leadership cannot handle it, then there will be a disaster because decline in sales could result and the company will going bankrupt. So the role of the leaders is more important in this case. I think that's all, Ms. Fariha.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Devi. All right, we're moving on to the question for Ms. Farah. This is Assalamualaikum. I'm Putri from IAI Jember. Good morning, Ms. Farah. Among all the sectors in halal industry, what sector has the most important role in economic recovery for Indonesia?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for Ms. Putri from Jember for asking this question. So if you ask about what sector is the most important one, is actually all important has the role for economic recovery. But if I choose one, the best one, or the one that has the most influence is the halal sectors, food sectors. I mean, food sectors. Why? Because in these sectors has a very big, the biggest revenue among all the halal industry sectors. So here, as we know, also that Muslim Indonesia is almost 87%. So that they always we have to consume halal products. So that's why it's a really promising in the food sectors. So I can say that the most important one, the most important sector is the food industry. So that's why we have to revive this industry, this halal industry, this food industry from this pandemic, like that. We have to keep improving in these sectors.
All right. Okay, thank you, Ms. Farah. And then the next question is about the divergence between three state-owned Islamic banks in recent issue. How can this be helped in economic recovery? How this merger can help the economic recovery, Ms.
Okay. So I talk a little bit about this in my presentation. So this is a good thing. This is like the good strategy from the government to measure all these three own state Islamic bank, Bank Syariah, BRI Syariah, BNI Syariah to become one. So if they, after the merger, I believe it will become stronger than before. So it can compete to the conventional bank. So and then after the merger, also what I know from the data from I know is it's gonna have Islamic bank. They're gonna have around 400 trillion rupiahs in asset. So this is a big number to make it bigger, to make it to expand the Islamic Bank in Indonesia. So if, with this action, we hope that Islamic banking of Indonesia can be held in a recovery, recovery in Indonesia, and also become the best financial Islamic financial finance in the world. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And then for the last question, because it's already 11. So the last question is from Nikmatu Soliha. Okay, after discuss about bank, Nikmatu Soliha wants to talk about what is the current condition of Indonesia in maybe Sharia investment in Indonesia. How the current is it already recovery or still struggling?
Okay. So what I can say, if you ask about the recovery, I think it's already a recovery state. Okay, my voice is echoing. So even actually in the start, in the earlier of the pandemic, okay, the Jakarta Index, IHSG or Jakarta Composite Index, is go down for a while, but now I think I can say now it's already increased in the on the stable position. And if we look at the investor, the new investor is keep increasing. I think it's because many people want to invest their money because of this pandemic. We cannot go anywhere. We cannot go to the travel. We stuck at home, so we want just to invest our money. And one media is in the investment in this one. Yeah, in the investment, Sharia investment. And I already looking at the EHSJ, yeah, and now it's normal, it's green, so it is a good state of Islamic investment in Indonesia. Okay.
All right, thank you, Ms. Faro. Alhamdulillah, we finished our discussion because it's already 11 past 8 on Indonesian time. But we hope everyone gains some new ideas, some new spirit to build our better community. And don't forget, as Prof. Asmani mentioned earlier, that we need to take, we have two goals besides economic. That's our safety that we need to protect. All right. I'm sorry for any inconvenience. Thanks everyone, Wahania, Faroha, and Miss Devi for your great presentation. And I'll return this event to Miss Fatin.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Fariha. This is the end of our international webinar entitled Accelerating Economic Recovery After COVID-19. I would like to thank to our moderator, Ibu Fariha, and also our wonderful speakers, Associate Professor Asmani Esmajalai, Ms. Elvina Sadam, Ms. Farha Mutayyinatun Niswa, and Ms. Devi Fianti. Thank you for sharing your precious knowledge. It is a very interesting topic that you told today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please fill the attendance list that has been shared in the chat box. Please make sure that you write your name correctly. And the next, another interesting agenda is door prize time. The committee will pick your name randomly, and I will inform you to all of you who are the winners. Then to all the winners, please share the screenshot of today's webinar in WhatsApp group to claim your gift. So please, the committee. Will get the door prize. Okay, let's count. The first lucky winner is okay, don't forget to screenshot first our today's webinar, and then you have to share the screenshot to WhatsApp group to claim the gift after we announce the winner.
Wait. Can you see?
Yeah. So please, Bu Elvina. Okay. We have the first lucky winner is Erna Umi F.
Erna apa?
Erna Umi F.
Okay. Udah dicoret. Once again. This is about 700 and too long.
Yeah. So we have. Okay. We have the second winner here. It is Harun Faisal. And the third one is Lailatul Fitriana Husliya Maulviro. And the last lucky winner is here we have Debbie Juwati Banampuan. So congratulations to all the winners. Don't forget to share your screenshot of today's webinar. Well, we already have the lucky winners, and I said congratulations. And coming to the next agenda, it is reciting doa that will be delivered by Ustadz Hubi Mulyono LC. To Ustadz Hubi Mulyono LC, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalam ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in amma ba'du. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Marilah sebelum kita mengakhiri acara yang luar biasa ini, di mana kita di saat banyak masalah, di saat kita banyak segala macam problematika yang sudah mengglobal ini, terutama adanya wabah yang sudah kita kenal selama setahun lebih ini, marilah dengan berdoa kita tetap semangat, optimis, bahwasanya kita masih bisa melakukan yang terbaik untuk diri kita, untuk umat manusia seluruhnya, dan juga untuk lingkungan kita yang ada di sekitar kita dan juga di dunia. Marilah kita beristighfar sebelum kita mulai doa. Dengan istighfar, insya Allah 3 hal akan kita dapatkan. Yang pertama, Allah mempermudah urusan kita. Yang kedua, Allah akan memberikan kita rahmatnya. Yang ketiga, kita akan diberikan kelapangan rezeki. Allahumma amin. Marilah kita beristighfar kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Astaghfirullahaladzim alladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. Astaghfirullahaladzim alladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. Astaghfirullahaladzim alladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. Allahumma ighfiril muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qaribun mujibu da'wat wa qadiyal hajat. Rabbana la tu'akhidna in nasina aw akhtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alaina isran kama hamaltahu 'ala alladhina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih wa'fu 'anna waghfir lana warhamna anta maulana fansurna 'alal qaumil kafirin. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan wasi'a wa sihhatan wa shifaan min kulli da'in wa saqamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar wa qina adzaban nar wa qina adzaban nar. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalam ala nabiyyina al-karim Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Ustadz Hubi Mulyono LC. Well, I would like to say thank you to the committee of Universitas Muhammadiyah Lamongan, especially the Faculty of Ekonomi and Bisnis. And thanks for all the participants who have joined this webinar. We apologize, not all your questions can be answered in this moment, but I hope that this discussion will be useful for increasing our knowledge. Amen. So we apologize again if there are a lot of mistakes from us. Before I close this webinar, I would like to remind you to fill the link in the chat room to get your e-certificate. Thanks again for joining us. We are looking forward to meet you again in the next occasion. So have a nice day, keep healthy, and don't forget to be happy. Billahi fisabilil haq fastabiqul khairat. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.